You're listening to I'm So Vain with Josh Carmichael, only on LA Talk Radio.
Be on here in a second, but yeah, 15 minutes back there, so we'll quit it and we'll start. Hey, welcome. It's Josh Carmichael. I'm So Vain. Here we are live on Tuesday. I got a really cool guest with me today. I was actually really excited about this one this morning, and thinking about him and thinking about, we met a few years ago, and we're going to get into it, but I want him to share with you all of the inspirational journey you've been on forever. But let's just get going. World champion kickboxer, also known as the one-armed bandit, Baxter Humby. Yeah. You fighting? You still fighting?
No, I retired like 7 years ago now. Getting too old for that.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit as you get older, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's harder to recover.
Yeah, the recovery time's hard. Yeah. I know I boxed a little bit years ago when I played sports, and it's like I still work out in the gym, but man, if I hurt myself, it's like you go down for weeks. It used to be a couple days. And
exactly.
It's like
the recovery time is insane. It's like, I remember when my fight career was like 35 was the point where I noticed that if I got injured, instead of it taking a couple days, it'd take a couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So how many professional fights did you have?
I had 43 professional fights. 53 professional fights.
53.
I had 2 MMA fights as well.
Right. Okay. So you were in the MMA for a short bit.
Yeah, just 2. Just towards the end of my career, people tried to get me into the UFC, but they didn't pay a whole lot of money, and it was like basically going from world champion to an up-and-comer.
Like started over,
exactly.
Yeah. So you didn't want to do that.
And at 35, it was too late to start over. And
now, do you have what are you doing in your world today? What's your?
I'm still training people and doing a lot of movie and TV stuff.
We saw that.
Mostly stunts and doing real estate on the side as well.
Awesome. So, looking back at your fights, and I remember, talking to you several years back or a few years ago. What was the one that was kind of the tipping point for you that you really knew that this was your thing, your sport, this was your lifestyle?
I was probably way back in Canada when I first started fighting in amateur, and I could go in the ring and show what I had, and usually I walked out a winner. So it was an exciting feeling. Were you nervous? I mean, back then, or do you think it was just that drive of like, I got it, I got to like fight to the death today, or they're going to carry me out of here, basically, right? Yeah, pretty much.
Because you have this I watched your video too, which is very emotional and inspirational too. Talking about your dad and growing up and all of that. And if you guys haven't seen it, we have it live on Facebook. Nancy put it up there, but I was very moved by that. Very moved by that. That's because you faced challenges from birth, basically.
Exactly. Speaking of the birth part, it's funny that it all started at the beginning because the doctors. I grew up in a place I was born in a place called Gillam, Manitoba. Basically, population of 700 plus.
Oh, it's a big city.
Exactly. And so they didn't have any ultrasound or anything like that. It was just a small little, medical facility that was barely a hospital. And when I came out with one hand, they're just like, they didn't want to show me to my parents. They said,
"Oh no,
you can put him up for adoption." And my dad, being an ex-fighter, is just like, "You better show me my son now, otherwise there's gonna be a big problem."
Yeah, somebody's going down.
Exactly. So I get a little bit of that fight from him.
Wow. So you just came out fighting, basically.
Yeah,
you had to.
I like to say is that because the umbilical cord wrapped around my arm, so I like to say I was fighting inside the womb. So I started early.
Yeah. You didn't want the advantage, so you take one arm out and said, "Hey, I one's enough. I'll win with this one."
Exactly. It's like you got to work with what you got.
Yeah. So you think besides that, because I remember when I was telling Nancy a story when I met you, I'm like, what a humble guy, you were like just super humble. had no idea you were a fighter before I met you, and we ended up talking, and you're like, oh yeah, he's One Arm Bandit, and I remember looking you up, I think right there on the spot, and going, holy shit, like.
Yeah, I've always been humble. You know, they used to call me Humble Humby.
That works.
Yeah. And the thing is that, you know, I respect everybody until, you know, they cross the line, then I'll put them in check. But until then, I'm extremely humble.
So how old were you when you started studying martial arts? Or
I started studying martial arts when I was 16. I was actually doing a paper route so I could pay for it, because when I grew up, my mom didn't have a lot of extra money. So extracurricular stuff was either, you know, taken care of with my paper money,
right,
and that was it.
So that did it.
Yeah,
now,
so it made me appreciate it a lot more.
But before that, I think you were talking about like you got bullied and stuff in school, like from early age and all that.
Yeah, because in Canada, like I was Native or Indian, and there's a lot of racism where I grew up, and I had one hand as well, so I got the double whammy.
Wow.
And my dad always told me to stand up for myself, so if a bully would bug me, I'd stand up for myself, and a few punches later.
Finally, it worked. It paid off.
It worked, and we'd be friends.
It does shut them up a little bit, doesn't it? After they go a little too far.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I took it a lot. I had a lot of bullies in my life, and I took it, and I think it was like 9th grade. I finally fought back, but because I was like, my dad was a fighter, and a street fighter. He was like just a crazy badass guy, and he always told me not to fight. You know, like use your brains. So I had always outsmarted him. I was trying to like psychological warfare on them, and then one day I had to stand up for myself, and I was like, shit, I really don't want to do this, and I did, and then everybody leaves you alone.
Yeah, I was fortunate.
It changes everything.
My dad was a boxing champion in the Canadian Army and taught me how to box. We had a box, 80-pound bag downstairs, and he taught me how to punch and all that stuff, and it was useful for defending myself.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I had the same. I was telling Nancy, I just found a picture of me 4 years old with gloves on. You know,
I only had one on.
Yeah. Do you wear like something over it, right, to protect it, or used to when you were fighting?
When I started, you had to wear 2 gloves.
Oh wow!
And I was the first one in Las Vegas to fight with 1 glove, because I argued because they finally allowed full rules Muay Thai in North America, and I said you're taking an advantage away from me by covering up my elbow.
Yeah, it was your shot. Yeah.
So I was talking, I believe it was Mark Ratner was the commissioner at the time, and I'm just like, you know, it's actually a benefit, so I can get in close, and you're going to take the only benefit I have.
Now, were you right-handed, or you had to be left-handed growing up?
So exactly. I was born like this.
Do you think you were right-handed normally or naturally, or did you ever?
It's hard to say because my wife says, because of my writing, she says I must have been right-handed, or I should have been a doctor.
Right. You have that signature.
Yeah.
Have you knocked people out with your right arm?
Not with the right arm. It's not as much momentum, and there's not as much weight as, you know, the punch or an elbow coming from the
Let's
other
say
side.
you get the elbow in there, but
I've rocked a couple people, then finished them off with something else.
Your kicks are pretty serious, man. Your kicks are pretty wicked.
Yeah,
I've watched. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough when I got the paper route and did the Taekwondo. I got all the flashy kicks. You know, they weren't that powerful at the time.
Right.
They were like, you know, we were doing a lot of points sparring for the, you know, Olympic point system, and so I was doing a lot of taps, and I just applied the Muay Thai with it, and that's how I got known for my kicks.
Yeah, I saw some of your reel and stuff, and so how did that transition into entertainment world, like movies and stuff? Well, people just obviously you're a world champion, and then you know the power or the clout that goes along with that. Did somebody see you and go, wow, we want to put you in a film, or did you have to go after it? No,
I was fortunate enough that a lot of the stunt guys and are martial artists, so they knew who I was, and they needed me for Spider-Man 3. You know when Spider-Man punches through the Sandman and gets stuck in him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, wow. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's funny, when I walked in, because I had no clue what I was doing, I figured they're just going to chop off my arm and I'm going to be one of the victims somewhere. And then they said, okay, you're about the right size. I had no clue what they were talking about, and I walked into the trailer with 40 Spider-Man suits. And I was like literally almost dropped to the floor. I had to keep all my composure because as a little kid, I remember screaming being Spider-Man. So I grew up and I got to be Spider-Man. Dreams do come true.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's how it all started.
That's really cool. That was the first one?
Yeah.
That was the first gig.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, so do you have a gym you teach out of, or a
Yeah,
place where
I
you
teach
out
out of my friend's gym called Jerry Blank's Martial Arts Center in Pacific Palisades.
Okay.
Then most of my students I do private lessons with, and sometimes at their house.
Right. And I saw you have 2 daughters, right?
Yeah.
I saw they're getting into this
Yeah,
now too. Didn't,
Yeah, they've been there
did they
since
want
3.
to, or was that like
Nah,
Dad
it's
kind
a
of said,
necessity, yeah.
Dad's like, you got to do this.
Yeah, no, that's
You got to learn to fight.
pretty much, yeah,
You got to protect yourself.
exactly. They started.
The little
wait,
I forget their names. Tell me their names.
Mila and Allie.
Right. So one of them I just saw a video. She's kicking ass.
Oh yeah, she's tough.
Yeah. Which
my
one's
older
that?
daughter, my older daughter,
Oh,
Mila.
right. Yeah.
And she's like,
I was like, damn. It definitely runs in the family.
yeah. They're both pretty tough.
It's a pretty.
I'm a proud dad.
So I was just saying, it's pretty cool to watch them
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think, or do they? Because they're young, so they didn't really see you fight, right? You were probably retired by the time they came around,
Yeah,
right?
my older daughter, she didn't see the fights, but she was literally in the ring training with me. Like I'd put her in the ring when
Very
my wife
young?
was busy at work.
Oh, wow.
And she'd be in the car seat and watching me train, and
So she just
wouldn't
been
cry,
around.
and
It's
that's
her
my dad.
life.
She'd be
It's been her
watching.
life. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I was gonna say, do you see that it she gets it faster than most of the other students or most people her age, or is she picking it up pretty quickly?
She picks it up pretty quickly. I think just the athletic gene that she's came from.
Right.
My wife was a tennis player as well, so the athletics run in the family.
Right. That's awesome. Well, that's got to be fun to watch and
Yeah.
share that. Do you think she'll, or either one of them, you think they'll pick it up? And
I don't know if they'll get into the ring or anything like that.
do you want them to fight like
It's up
professionally?
to them. It's like whatever sport they want to choose.
You're okay
I'll
with it?
encourage it.
You're okay with them getting punched in the face?
I'm not okay with it, but as long as they.
I mean, it's
prepared.
different
Yeah.
with a girl. I mean, I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
a chivalrous guy, and I'm going. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't have a daughter, but I was like, if I had a daughter, I don't know. If she
Yeah.
was if she grew up really tomboy and she was really tough,
Yeah.
then I would go, yeah, she could probably handle it.
Yeah, I know both of them could handle it, but it's whatever they choose. Because
Yeah.
I want to support them in whatever they choose. I'm not going to say no, you can't do it because you can hurt yourself. I'm just like I'll encourage it, but I'll prepare them so they less chance of them hurting themselves.
And protecting themselves against other people in
Yeah.
life and
It's a tough world out there.
oh yeah, as we know,
Yeah.
you always gotta be. Now, are you? I talk about this too. Are you one of those guys like you say, you're a protective father? Like, say when you go to a restaurant, I'm gonna guess that your answer would be yes. But are you always looking, or watching people and like scoping out like the exit and where to go and what to do and who might be trouble and?
Yeah,
Is that
it's
just
ingrained in me?
Is it because I got another buddy, we just talked about this. I'm like, there aren't too many guys I talk about or talk with that have that thing, and I'm military, I'm
Yeah.
ex-military, so I'm
Yeah.
like, he's ex-military? I'm like, is it ex-military? He goes, I don't know, maybe it's just a protective nature, but
I don't know. It's just that maybe the fighter in me that I walk into a room, I assess what's going on, and it's like I can't turn it off. It's like
Yeah.
I'm relaxed and all that other stuff, but I'm ready for anything that happens.
yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like always looking. I'm like, oh, that guy. Oh, he's got like a limp in his right ankle, so that's where
Yeah.
I'd go to his weak spot. Or
Yeah, sizing them up.
Do
Yeah,
you do that too?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so funny.
And it's funny because I don't even try it. It's just like I'm walking in the room and
It's natural, right?
Yeah. It's just
Me
a
too. I go to
reaction.
the gym and do it.
Yeah.
I'm working out in the gym and I'll be on like the incline press and it's a machine where it overlooks like everybody out in front of me. And guys are jerks in the gym anyway. So I'm always watching. I'm like, okay, that guy, whatever. He's looking for trouble. You can
Yeah.
tell when they're jacked up or hyped up on something. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm always watching. I'm always like, I tell Nancy, I'm like, I got your back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We're covered. So I'm
Yeah.
always not. I gotta say, there's a funny one of the memories I remember meeting you. I met you at Gary Allegretto's thing. Remember that?
Mhm.
He was singing. He's coming on in January, so I've known him forever.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so I went there to see him. I remember somebody had asked us, or asked you at the table. You're like, and in the whole bar, who would you not want to fight? And you pointed to me,
Mhm.
and somebody said, why? I said, because look at him, he's just really calm.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I thought, why me?
Well,
I'm like,
that's the thing is that I could tell by like sized you up already, and I could
Right.
tell that you had some kind of experience and you're a big guy and you're confident. So that means
That's
you
funny.
weren't cocky, you were confident. So there's a
Yeah.
difference.
I always
And
come off that way. Yeah.
The cocky ones are the ones that are the easy ones.
Those are the guys go down first. I know.
Those are the ones that you basically get in their face and they shut up.
Now, were like in a bar or whatever? Were you the guy that people, if they found out you were a fighter, then were they the ones they always they wanted to fight, or
Yeah. I was fortunate enough in that respect because
or did they respect you?
not necessarily respect, but I never started anything. I was always
Yeah.
calm, cool, and they say hi. I'm like cordial and all that stuff until they make it a problem. Then I'll settle it.
That's my motto. I said I'll never start a fight, but I'll finish it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same
That's
thing
always
as
been my motto.
Dad, my dad said the same thing.
You have to push me really hard. Like, I don't like to fight. I don't want to fight, but I was in the military, and I got that was my most fighting I think I ever did, and it was like that's I don't like being around drunk people.
Yeah,
I'll say that alcohol creates a craziness around that I don't like to be around. So that one makes me crazy. Like when you see those people, I have zero tolerance for that.
I mean, it's like they're out having fun and all that stuff, but sometimes it changes their mood and they get a little
way
arrogant.
the
and stuff like
liquid
that.
courage thing is the one I've always dealt with.
Yeah, and
So,
I'm not afraid to talk to them strongly and say, hey, you're
that's
not
what I always
cool.
try to do. Yeah, I always try to. Like, you were like
Yeah.
me. Like, I always try to, like, I'm humble and I'm confident like you are, but I mean I'm not trained like you are, so I have to go from like brute strength and street fighting basically. I mean, some golden gloves back in the day, but it doesn't really count when you're in a street fight. So
Everything helps.
yeah, I try to remember certain things, but no, I'm like you. I'd rather get to them psychologically than go to blows.
Unfortunately now, because we obviously live in LA, it's like I'm more worried about getting sued than losing the fight because there's 99.9% chance that I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
But it's like
he's still confident. I like that.
Well, I keep in check.
I see it. I see it in his eyes. You got that crazy eye too.
Yeah. Well, only if I have to.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like I don't want to. Like if I
Well, you
hard
get
for my stuff.
or they go to their car and they bring a gun or whatever. It's like it's just ridiculous. I know.
You never know nowadays.
I have to hold. I've had to hold myself back a few times in LA because, and it's like I have this old saying like some people just need a good ass whooping.
Yeah.
But I just had a thing was a few months ago, right? That guy, I won't mention his name, but he was just an ass in front of us at dinner one night, and he talked down to his wife and all this, and I called him out on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got in his face about it, and then Nancy told me, she's like, you got to be careful because I went outside with him. She's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
And I went outside and I went, I'm walking. I'm like, I so wanted to just drop him. And then I started hearing Nancy's voice in my head, and I went, yeah, I just better talk to him. I better just say, calm down. The adrenaline's going. And I started shaking, and I'm like, ah. And I realized, that it wasn't worth it because people like him, like this guy, I don't think it would have woken him up. I don't think it would have helped. So I tried to get to him emotionally, and I told him how bad that was, and I told him how negative that was, and I said, look, you really don't have respect for people, and I said, you might want to check yourself on that. And then I heard that he came around to through another friend a couple weeks later, but I cut him out of my life. I'm like, I'm done. That was the best thing.
Exactly, and that's the thing is I've been fortunate enough to surround myself with good people, so I wouldn't get to the point where I was around all this negative energy and some of it would rub off, and that'd be the worst thing because then I wouldn't be humble Humby anymore.
There you go. You can't lose that, man.
Exactly, it rhymes.
My freaking nose is running. I'm like, come on. I don't do drugs. It's not cocaine. Don't think that. Don't go back to the 80s on me.
Well, I've got kids. There's lots of everybody has runny nose.
Yeah, what are you saying? I'm a little kid now?
Hanging out with the kids, I guess.
Yeah, I got little kid syndrome today. No, it's gone now. I get rid of it. But
that was quick.
I had I don't know what it was. Caffeine, probably the caffeine I had earlier.
Maybe you're allergic to me.
No, that's not it. Very funny. What was I going to say? You were going off on something. Oh, no, I think the humility's the way to go. And I was going to say, like, I try to go to, always try to go to the higher vibration. So
Yeah.
I want to raise people's, intention. I want to motivate people and inspire them
Exactly.
in a positive way.
Yeah.
So like you, I mean, I was never a professional fighter. I never fought for money. I never, any of that. But I've always tried to maintain the confidence to lead with that, to take people to, lead by example, basically.
Exactly.
So I think that's the key, and that's the most humbling, really, you think about it. If you can teach somebody by example, or, proving to them that here's a better way of going, or here's another option, maybe.
Yeah. A better option than having to, I hate to say it because I grew up and had to fight a lot. And I gained a lot of friends by doing that because I stood up to them. And
you were the guy
to respect. But nowadays there's too much stuff going on. They could be insecure and go grab a gun and come back and shoot you.
Stupid, or or the guy. It's like
or
there's so many shootings. So many mass shootings.
Yeah.
Do you follow like UFC and stuff still?
I follow it. It's just they got too much stuff going on right now. It's hard to keep up. They got the Fox shows, the ESPN shows, and there's a fight every other weekend.
I know. They've oversaturated everything.
Yeah, so it's hard to, like I was planning on having a fight party for the Nick Diaz fight, but I'm just like, it was just too much to get organized.
Now, do you know a lot of those fighters still, or
a few? It's like I know Crone Gracie. I was helping him get ready for his fight in Japan, and I didn't help him with this one because the last one that he did, because I was just too busy doing with my kids and stuff like that.
Right. What about who'd you want to win in the Masvidal fight?
Masvidal, it's like he's just really skilled.
I think he's a warrior, man. I like him. I like him. I wanted him to win too. I'm not a Nate Diaz fan. I'm not a Diaz brothers fan. I'll be honest. I'll say it on the air, whatever. I'm not afraid. It's just overhyped in my opinion.
Well, they're a great show.
Yeah,
they're a great show, and that's
they're
they're just scrappers.
Their endurance is great.
Yeah,
I think they're boring to watch for the most part because Nate's never, that's why I like watching Conor McGregor because he was the showman. He talked the talk, and when he got in the ring,
he backed it up.
He's got a pretty damn good left hook, man. It's like he's a good fighter. What was, I don't know. We'll see if he comes back, but.
And that's the funny thing is like, the Mayweather fight, he's got a fighter's chance.
Yeah.
He's got that mean left hook, and people don't really experience that stuff because it's like I've been hit once with a left hook with somebody that has what we call knockout hands.
Yeah.
And rang my bell so hard, I had to do everything in my power to make sure he didn't hit me again because I didn't want to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, when it rings your head, you want to get out of there.
Exactly.
For sure.
And
no,
it's like,
that's
like Mike Tyson. He's got what we call the heavy hands.
God, yeah.
So it's like some people have that
naturally. He
naturally.
looked like he had short arms because they just came in like it never looked like he ever fully extended, did it? It was just like he was so close to you,
and everything was.
He
had
so much shoulder power when he came in. It was just like
he's so explosive.
Yeah, because he's not really tall. He's like 5'8" or 5'10", right?
I think he's 5'10".
5'10".
Yeah.
But he's not like a giant. He's not like some of the old boxers were so massive. He's just like thick.
Yeah.
Or was.
He was I think it was 210 when he was fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody else
he was just
220,
230. Yeah. So it's like he was just solid. Yeah. You know what I was going to say, the McGregor and Mayweather thing, I just don't think McGregor was ready for 13 rounds or whatever. So it's like, he's just going 5.
Yeah.
And they're shorter rounds, right? So it's like you're going
a little bit harder.
Yeah, that's a little bit more endurance. So you could see him kind of
tapering. Yeah.
He just faded out, but that was fun to watch. And like I say, he's fun to watch. Masvidal, I like him. I like him. So I want to watch more.
He's a tough and skilled fighter, and I hate to say it, but he's kind of schooled Diaz.
Yeah, he's schooled. Yeah, I felt that too. I'm like, he had that fight from the first round, so. Yeah. It wouldn't have gone 5. Definitely wouldn't have gone 5.
And the thing is that there's always a fighter's chance. Get that one lucky shot and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It happened to me one time. It was like I was fighting Danny Steele at the Hollywood Park Casino, winning the fight clearly, and I slipped a punch and dropped my shoulder, and he kicked me right on the chin.
He got you?
Yeah, dropped me. And I think it was Doc Hamilton was the referee, and I got up, and he said, "Are you all right?" And I don't remember him asking me. He said my eyes were rolling around, and I'm just like. He said,
So you were technically knocked out, or
but you
were still.
Yeah, I got up, but Doc Hamilton waved it off because I wasn't really there.
Responding.
It was just out of instinct that I got up. Exactly.
Yeah. It's funny when that happens. You're like, You know where you are, but you don't know where you are.
Yeah, and I recovered quickly, but it was like when he asked me, he said, "Yeah, your eyes were rolling," and I had to call it because I didn't want you to get hurt. And I said it was a good call because I don't remember getting up.
Yeah. Was that the only time that happened? Like,
yeah, I've been dropped, but not. That was the first time where I got dropped and got up, and I was like, still a little bit out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I've been dropped, got back up, and back in the fight, no problem. But that was one where I was like, oh, where am I? It's like somebody turned off the switch, and when I turned it on, I wasn't sure where it was.
What's your fastest knockout?
56 seconds.
56.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty fast.
Yeah. With a kick to the head.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah.
Right on.
Like you said, I was known for my kicks.
Yeah. Oh yeah, your kicks are. You got some good range on those kicks, man.
Those long legs help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just your balance and the strength behind them. Yeah, like, hey, you got to use everything you got. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I was known for the kicks because obviously I'm not going to be a boxer with the one hand.
Yeah.
So it's like I was known for.
Well, your
my
left
kicks.
hand's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's
still
pretty good.
But
I don't have that knockout power that I envy those guys like Tyson. I have one of my students named Eli Johnson, and he just has this knockout left hook. Like when he hits me, even when we're going sparring, I feel it.
Oh, really?
Like we're not going hard, but I feel
you can
that
feel
thump.
he's got that.
Yeah, it's like.
Is it more coming from the shoulder? You think?
I'm not sure because the thing is that he had it naturally and his technique was all right, but I tuned it up and it was even better. But it's just I don't know if it's bone density or what physiology.
Yeah, some guys just hit harder.
Yeah, it's I
remember I did a lot of it's kind of stupid stuff, but we did street fighting.
Yeah.
And I would do it with my friends, and we're like always say no face shots,
Yeah.
broke my nose. But you always get hit in the face. Yeah, slipped.
Yeah.
How'd you slip straight on?
Yeah.
I remember my nose, like the bone sticking out for a bit. I didn't even go to the doctor for a while. I was like, oh, whatever,
Yeah.
But we were having fun. But I remember this one kid. He was so skinny, but he had the boniest knuckles, and they hurt so much. And he had like quick strength, and when he'd hit you, it would just like penetrate your soul. And I'm he was way smaller than me. His name was Brian now. Yeah. And he was my neighbor, and we would after school he was like a year younger than me, and it was like weekly we'd fight, and we'd just fight, and we'd fight till somebody gave up.
Yeah.
But man, his fists hurt.
Yeah.
I just remember that.
Yeah, I remember experienced that in Bismarck, North Dakota when I was an amateur fighting in the States from Canada, and every time this guy hit me with his left hand, I don't know if he had
it feels like a rocket.
I don't know if he had a cast in there or what, but every time he hit me, rang my bell. And I was fortunate enough to make him miss that left hook and caught him with an uppercut and sent him off his feet and knocked him out.
Nice.
But one or two more shots, I would have been sleeping myself.
So you had to be able to be, since you're one-armed, you had to be pretty quick with your movements, right?
Yeah, that's kind of why I got the name One-Armed Bandit, because I'm so hard to hit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who was your toughest opponent, you think?
Probably like toughest is Benito Copain from Holland. I fought him at one of the casinos in the I fought him at one of the casinos, and I hit him with everything and the kitchen sink, and he smiled at me every time. Like I even kicked him in the head as hard as I could. It was a glancing blow, but still, he just looked at me and smiled.
Oh shit!
So and every
What'd
time
you think at that point?
I'm just like, holy smokes! I hate to say it, it's like he's from Holland, so I'm not if he's got a little adrenaline or whatever, because he's going back home, he doesn't have to worry about
no testing over there. Yeah.
So it's like every time I hit him, I was like, how come this guy's not going down? And he's just smiling, likes it.
He just had a little extra. He had a little extra juice in him, man.
Exactly. So I'm just like, oh man, I gotta make sure.
Did you take him? Did you win?
Yeah, I won every single round because he was just going straight for me, so I just sidestep and clock him and just move around.
But he took everything you had
and
never
just knocked me down.
You never got him down. Never knocked him down.
Nope.
Damn.
And I hit him with everything. It was like crazy.
How many rounds were you doing then?
That was 5.
5 rounds.
Championship fight. I think that was for one of my international title belts.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think I was defending it, and they came from Holland.
Now, what do you do with this array of belts that you have? Are they in a case, or do you?
Yeah, a few of them displayed.
Do you wear them around like Halloween and stuff?
No,
or you dress up and go?
Not this year.
I'm like, what do you do with them? You have a lot of them.
Yeah, I got 17 title belts.
Yeah, like I said, you have a lot of them.
Yeah.
How many other people has that many belts?
Sugar Ray Leonard's a good friend of mine. I don't think he has 17 because he's got mostly just world titles.
Sugar Ray's your friend? I want to meet him because he was my idol growing up.
I just played tennis with him yesterday.
Okay, well, you got to invite me down.
All right.
I want to meet him.
All
I'm
right,
serious.
Yeah, no.
Sugar Ray was my idol because I was
Mine
I was a skinny little kid, and when I was boxing Golden Gloves at 14, Sugar Ray, obviously Muhammad Ali was the shit, but Sugar Ray was my guy, and I love watching him.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch is so fast.
And same thing is I emulated a lot from him because he had such great movement. It was hard to hit, and he could hit whatever he
so
aimed
quick
for.
though.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've never seen anybody that fast in a ring.
And it's funny because I remember watching, I think it was Hearns and Hagler both with my dad, and my dad saying how great of a fighter he was.
Yeah.
And I live here in the Palisades, and he's a good friend of mine.
Wow.
We play tennis.
That's awesome. He's getting up there in age, all right?
Yeah,
He's
63,
60-something?
I think, 62 or 63. Yeah.
God, yeah, he was
But
fun to watch.
Oh, it's crazy. Like when we play tennis.
Well,
both
you'll
of us-
make one of my childhood dreams come true if I'll go with you sometime.
There you go.
But I'd love that.
But he's still amazing.
Just to say
shape.
hi. He's not very
Amazing
big
shape.
though, right?
Yeah, he's probably 5'9".
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's about $160.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still in
Now,
great
what was
shape.
your fighting? What was your weight?
I'd fight anywhere from 145 to 165, depending on who'd get in front of me.
Right. So, was it tough cutting weight and stuff? And you hear about it, everything. I mean, is that the
tough.
hard thing?
Yeah, it was tough getting under the 150 because 149 was the cutoff for the last one. And I'd sneak into that one, but then I felt weak.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't you lose a lot of strength? Because I would cut. I'd wrestle. I wrestled in school, and I remember cutting weight for wrestling or gaining weight or cutting weight, and it was some days you just felt like you had nothing in you.
Yeah, and that's things I didn't like cutting down too much, so that's why I didn't do those fights too often. But I walked around at 160, so when I was training, it was 155.
Yeah. So when you started, what was your weight? Like, because you're younger, you're probably thinner, right?
Yeah.
Were you lighter weight class?
Yeah, probably the 140s. Then as I got a little bit older, then the 150s, 160s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like you said, you were kind of a skinny kid too, right?
Yeah.
Me too. I went into the military at 149,
Oh, really?
and I'm 6'1". That's pretty
Oh,
thin.
wow. It's funny, I'm 6 foot, and I was always the tallest of the 150s.
Oh, yeah,
that
I
fought.
bet.
Yeah. Like, I think I only fought one person that was taller than me.
Yeah, I was like super. I felt so skinny, and I'm like, I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me. Go in the military. I learned fast, and I gained like 15 pounds in boot camp.
Yeah.
Just by eating like 3 squares a day. So I'm like, oh, that's great. So I came out like 165 or something. I'm like, okay, this is good. And this is a little more natural. This feels a little better. So then I discovered the gym. That helped.
Yeah.
It always bulks you up a little bit. But
Yeah, it's funny. I walk around 175 now. I like to say I put 10 pounds of muscle on, maybe 10 pounds of fat. But I enjoy it.
It's funny when you have kids, you get a little softer. You start to soften up, and they do that to you, don't they?
Yeah, it's they eat sometimes a little stuff that's not as healthy as it should be, and I partake in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, let me taste it first and make sure it's good for you,
exactly.
right?
But then especially when we're having yogurt or
much.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, let me try that to make sure.
Want to go for Minchie's again?
Yeah.
Or whatever, right?
Exactly.
That's what my kids used to. I used to live near a Minchie's, and I'm like, oh my God, we could walk there. And my kids are like, let's go to Minchie's, Dad. I'm like, we were just there yesterday, or whatever. But greatest achievement in your life? What do you think?
Probably my children.
And I know it.
Yeah.
Being a dad.
Yeah. There's nothing like it. It's like I'd trade it for all my world titles. Nope, any day.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it's funny, because like when I was married, I'd I'd take a bullet for my wife, stuff like that. But there's little questions. Yeah, I would do it. And with kids, yeah. It's like yes,
there's no question with a kid.
There's no question. It's
because
like,
there's something about that protective nature with your kids. Yeah. So your oldest. So what was that like? Because I go back to that before you had any children.
Yeah.
Going in to see that first one alive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did your heart?
Trippy. Yeah. It's like melted.
I felt like my heart grew like 27 times.
Yeah, just like the Grinch.
Yeah, that was the reference I used. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way this thing's going to jump out of my chest. It's going to explode and it's going to splatter on the wall.
Yeah.
I said, I've never felt anything like that in my life. And I'm like, I tried to say that to my son now. He's 19. I'm like, he's my oldest. And I go, you have no idea, dude.
Yeah.
You have no idea. And you're not going to know until you become a father.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, you don't, I've had nieces and nephews, and it was like I was there for their birth and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It was great. But,
So
it being mine.
It's
like,
something
oh
about
my,
it's weird. It's
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a narcissistic or a selfish thing, but it really it's one of those things you can't explain.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. I'm like, I read every book. I read what to expect when expecting. I read every women's book. I read every man's book. I read everything I could to prepare, and I was like, oh my God, there he is.
Yeah.
And I got to hold him first before
Yeah.
I sent to the mom, and I'm like, I was just like, it's
It's a great feeling.
the greatest dream state you'll ever be in.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me that not too long ago. I go, yeah, probably my kids,
But in the
No,
fight
maybe it
game-
was that role I played back in. No, I'm kidding. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe that Superman or the Spider-Man role.
Exactly. But in the fight game, probably my greatest achievement was winning one of my world titles in Las Vegas.
Oh wow.
Because a lot of people said I'd fight anybody in the world, anytime, any place, and a lot of people that didn't know me or weren't in the fight game, but
Right.
looked at me and just like, oh, he's probably just getting easy fights, and they're giving him basically
Yeah.
pushovers to fight because he only has one hand.
Right.
And so when I won my fight in Las Vegas, in front of I think it was on pay-per-view, and it just kind of solidified that I'm for real.
Kind of showed her. I
Yeah.
was going to ask you that. Did you think? Did you think ever that somebody wasn't fighting you as hard as they could
Early on,
early on?
yeah, like when I was an
Was
amateur
it
and stuff.
psychological, or did you think that was true?
I think it was true just because I'm smart enough to realize that it's a kind of a lose-lose situation for the other guy.
Yeah.
Because when you walk in the ring, you're fighting a handicapped guy with one hand, so you're beating up a handicapped person.
Oh, so they're already like
Yeah.
they psych themselves
Yeah.
out, like, oh, I don't
And-
want to hurt him, or I
yeah.
don't want to.
And also, if they walk in there thinking they're going to beat me up, and they're just like, oh, what if I get beat up by the handicapped person? So, there's two sides
That's
of the street.
funny.
I majored in psychology in the university, and I used that aspect. It's like, that's why I fought at any weight. Whoever would get in front of me, I'd
Right.
fight, just to make sure that I
You
could-
want to prove it, yeah.
Exactly. And so, I knew that aspect of people that were fighting me, because I remember I fought in San Francisco one time, and one guy said he wouldn't fight me because it was against his religion. I'm just like, what religion do you have that you can't fight one-armed guys?
Yeah, right.
It's like there's something specific
That's
somewhere.
That's a new one.
Yeah. But, I understood that, so I would basically fight anybody that would get in front of me. And after I started winning my, national titles and world titles, it wasn't a question anymore. People got in there and they fought me, unfortunately.
That's well, congratulations. You really are inspiration with that too. And just again, if you guys out there haven't seen him fight, you got to check him out. You're fun to watch too.
Oh,
That's why I say it was entertaining, but again, it's like very inspirational. And I had another question for you. Is there anybody that you wanted to fight and never got to fight?
Well, I fought John Wayne Parr. I fought him and I lost. My coach threw in the towel because he currently won, at the time, he won what was called the King's Cup. And it's supposed to be one of the most prestigious places in Thailand, and it makes a big name for yourself. So I'm like, my fighter backed out for some reason, maybe because of the one-arm thing. And it was I think it was my 9th fight in my professional career, so I was early on. And he was a current world champion. I'm just like, yeah, I'll fight him, see what happens. So he was the same thing, a stalker. So I was making a miss, and I dropped him with a side kick right in the gut. And then the 4th round, he just lit me up, put me in the ropes, and I just covered up, and my coach threw in the towel.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Did you fire him?
I wanted to, yeah, but he was like family, and he believed in me, and he said, I just wanted to keep you safe. Because
Were you hurt? Do you think?
he rang my bell, but I knew I wasn't.
You were staying
Yeah,
up.
I was
You
still
were going
100%,
down.
Yeah.
So you
was
think
still-
you could have?
Yeah, I think I could have. I think I would have been a little bit smarter and realized, okay, I can't trade with him because he's got.
Did you
why he's
have
a
him?
world
Would you
champion.
had him by decision? Do you think, or?
It would have been close because I won the first 2 rounds.
Right.
And the first 3 rounds because I'd made a miss and countered and all that stuff. But the 4th round he dropped me, so it would have been close because he was
Right.
coming for it for the 4th and 5th round.
Right.
So,
So I was going to say, I'm sorry to hear they threw the towel, and you kind of want to.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kinda
So I
like-
called him out a couple times, but it just never came together.
Right.
Yeah.
So I never got a rematch.
Yeah.
on
Never
that
got the
one.
rematch that I wanted.
Oh shit. Okay. How long after something like that happens? So your coach threw the towel, and do you go home and you think about it like, if he wouldn't have done this, I would have
Yeah.
maybe I would have come back, or
And that's
Does it
the thing.
stay with you for a while?
It stayed with me for a while because the thing is that particular fight would have made me more legit because he came off from the King's Cup, and in our fight world in Muay Thai, that's the top of echelon.
Yeah. Right.
So if I beat him or even held my own with him, I'd be basically saying that I am for real.
Yeah. So I would have started a little bit earlier on.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'd say there's a lot. It's kind of like now you know what it's like when you don't get the acting role that you were up for. Those are they mess with your head a little bit sometimes, right?
Yeah, there's a few things that I've auditioned for and never got a call back. And fortunately for me, yesterday I got The Walking Dead, so I'm going to be
Oh, you did?
a zombie in there. And probably
You
gonna
did
cover
one
my-
before, didn't you?
Yeah, Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, Fear the Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
I'm one
right.
of the. If you ever watch it and you see a zombie getting his arm cut off, ripped off, or anything to do with an
That's
arm,
you?
That's me. Yeah.
Do you like the costumes and
Yeah,
shit? Is that fun?
It's so cool.
With the
It's like-
zombies, though, isn't that like 2 or 3 hours of makeup?
Yeah, I remember one they had a chest plate and all that stuff. That was 2.5 hours. So
Right.
I just kind of they listened to the music in the makeup trailer, and it goes by quicker than you'd think. But it's just amazing what they can do. It's like,
Yeah.
And fortunately for me, they can do the different makeup, and I can be another zombie that gets his arm ripped
And,
off. instead of
totally
cut
different,
off.
yeah.
Exactly. So I've done quite a few episodes of Fear the Walking Dead.
So what do they do? Like put a prosthetic kind of thing on, or what? Do
well,
they,
yeah,
or is this all green screen or something, or
Well,
how do they do that?
Well, they do. What they do is they make a prosthetic that can
Okay.
either be cut off or whatever. And I have a breakaway arm that can be broken.
Oh wow!
And sometimes they'll just have like meat hunks off my arm.
So the after effect.
Yeah. So like I'm just like
You're walking
around with my arm.
That's
hanging
good. You
out.
make money with that.
Yeah. So that keeps me busy.
That's like cool.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool. You know,
I got my little niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're using it to your advantage. That's amazing. I know one of the I think she was on Horror Stories. I don't know if she did The Walking Dead too. One of the main makeup artists.
Yeah.
And her name's Erin's first name.
Yeah.
I don't know if she
Yeah,
did.
I did American Horror Story too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So it was I think it was hotel. So basically they had a kill house, and I was one of the guys that was dying in the closet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now, how many like when you're shooting that? How long does it like?
It varies.
A few
like,
days.
Yeah, it's like when I shoot the Fear the Walking Dead, it's in Austin, so I got to fly out, and sometimes it'll just be 1 day shoot, or sometimes 2 or 3 days, depending
Right.
on what the action they want me to do and what scenes.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
Do you like that? Do you
Yeah,
like
it's fun.
playing the zombies?
It's fun. I like the stunt stuff a lot better because I do a little bit of acting too, but it's
Right.
the stunt stuff is so much more
Now,
fun.
did you study acting, or you just kind of came to it naturally?
Just kind of came to it naturally, so that's probably why I don't get all the parts.
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Didn't learn
yeah.
the cold read.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that everything you do, you got to practice. You
Yeah.
got to train for it.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't become a world champion just because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I had to work for it. So.
You didn't read the how-to book.
Exactly.
Go after-
Exactly. So like the acting, I could probably do a lot more if I started taking some acting.
Well, there's
classes
so
and
many
stuff.
YouTube videos now, though. You
Yeah.
can do it all there now, right?
Yeah, probably.
You could probably get a degree from YouTube videos.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's so funny. Like, somebody said to me, who I don't remember the story, but I'm like, there's a YouTube video for that, and I'm serious. But
Oh,
but
wow.
there are like so many things. Like, acting's a different animal. I've been studying it for over 30 years, but I will say this: you have a psychology background,
Yeah.
or do you have a degree in it?
No, I
assuming-
didn't have the degree because I actually moved out here to start fighting
Oh wow!
before I finished. So I had 3 years at university, and I had to go back 1 more year to finish up. And I decided I always wanted to be a professional athlete, and this
Right.
opportunity came up, and I took it.
So you had to take that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a quote unquote smart move.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it worked out good for me.
Right. Well, I studied psychology a bit as well. I don't have a degree in it either. But through the acting thing, I think it's the closest thing to psychology. But it's
Yeah.
it's a proactive way to take on basic standard, whatever you want to call it, psychology, or the Jungian phase, or the I liked. I was more of the Campbell. Joseph Campbell was more of a mythologist. He affected me more. But there's the Freud and the Jungian, theories
Yeah.
that they still use in psychology, which I think are, I don't know, a little bit outdated to our society now.
Oh, definitely.
But I
Especially with all
think
the
the
social
acting
media
has
stuff.
always been the more proactive. And I remember taking classes, and it'd be like, this is like therapy 101, but
Yeah. And
I
you
get
could be
to
someone else.
I get to share I get to let it out. So if I'm angry, I can just say I'm
Yeah.
fucking angry, you know, or whatever. You get it out, and then or whatever it is, and it's like, how healthy is that? It's amazing, right?
Yeah, it's good to vent
It's the best
in a positive way.
It's the best therapy. Between that and the gym, which is the other way to go throw metal around. They don't care. It doesn't have any feelings. So I think those have been my two therapies. So we have about 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
I kind of do a wrap up, and I'll let you talk more about yourself.
Okay.
You know, I'm so vain for a reason.
Yeah.
Because you like talking about yourself. I know.
Well,
I'm kidding.
I always get it right.
Yeah.
Because
nobody else knows the answer.
Exactly.
Right? Like, what am I thinking right now?
Yeah, exactly. Just appreciate being here, and thanks for and it was funny, like when I met you, and it's like I sized you up, and I'm just like, he might be some work. I might have to work for that one.
You might have to hit me a couple more times.
Exactly. But yeah, so the acting career is going great. I just got The Walking Dead yesterday,
That's
so I'm
awesome.
excited about
Congrats.
that. And it's a big show, and if I can do the same thing I do on the Fear the Walking Dead, they just put different makeup on me and
Just keep
do
going.
different stuff with my arm. And I have a dummy arm where they can do other stuff,
Wow.
throw me off a building, whatever they want. Just
Now, do you
get some
have a
kind of-
prosthetic, or did you ever want to do that?
yeah,
Or-
I have a prosthetic, but it's just for the movie stuff.
Right,
'cause
but
it
not
just
for
gets in the way.
life. You never wanted to,
Yeah, because it's basically
because they
for
have like
aesthetics.
yeah,
Yeah, until they can do like Star Wars, and they're almost there. And even then,
where you can
I think-
move, get the hand,
Yeah,
and
where you can articulate the fingers with your head. Basically,
Right,
you think
yeah.
about it and it does it. So the technology is pretty amazing now, but it's just, I've been just born like this.
I was
and
gonna
I'm pretty
say you would have
comfortable
to start all
Yeah.
over. That'd be like starting all over. Like, wow, what
I
the
know.
what the
And-
heck is this?
Yeah, and God made me this way, so I'm pretty comfortable with it.
Well, you've made the most out of it, man. That's amazing. That's why you're really an inspiration for a lot of people.
Well, thank you.
Not just that, but anybody who it's not even overcoming tragedy or adversity or whatever. It's really just your mindset and your spirit, and your motivator and your.
Yeah. That's the same thing. Surround yourself with positive people, and I remember being you, and when you asked me to do the interview, I'm just like, he's a positive guy. Like, I'd be happy to do that.
Oh, I was.
Even
did you say?
even
That brief meeting we had?
Yeah, exactly. Even the title, I'm so vain, but you put a positive spin on it.
Yeah. Well, I made a joke. It's kind of a joke. In
Yeah.
a sense, it was funny to me because I'm like, because people. I've always thought I was arrogant, whatever, and because I'm confident,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I'm like you. I'm very humble. I'm very antisocial in a way. Like I have very few friends, and I'm really close with those friends. So I have a tight knit group, but I'm not the social butterfly.
Yeah, likewise.
I don't go out and talk about myself to everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm not selling myself all the time, which I probably should a little
Yeah,
better.
I mean, you're in LA. That's what most
You've
people
got to do.
Yeah.
Got to do more of it, but But it's funny because I thought, I'm so vain. If people who really know me are going to think that's funny because they're going to go, oh, I get it.
But it's funny because because I'm a little closed off. It's like people think that I'm a little arrogant because I don't talk to everybody.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm not as social as everybody
Me
is.
too, yeah.
And it's not because I don't like you. It's just because I don't know you, and I'm picky about friends that I pick up.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I remember, like, when we met, I really liked you as well. I'm like, this guy's really cool. He's really interesting. Like I said, you're very humble. And then when they said you'd done all this badass shit, I'm like, wow, I would never guess that. Because you look like just the average, not average guy, but you look like just a normal guy.
Yeah.
That's just cool. Would be my friend.
Yeah.
Would you be my friend?
Maybe.
we
But I remember
we've tried to create friendships on this show
Yeah.
too. Don't
So
blow
there's a
it,
maybe.
man.
Maybe
I got
it's
a pretty good
maybe.
run going here.
I didn't say no.
God, maybe. Shit. I gave you a free mug too, just so you know.
Oh, yes then.
Good one. Good one. Where can people find you in your show or your not your show but your training and your
Well, I'm not big. Like I said before, I'm not big on the social media. I have a Facebook page.
Right.
But I just do post stuff that's.
I mean, are you trying
Inspirational.
to attract new customers, new people? Because there might be some young people out here that want to train with you. You never know. I'm just saying, this is a
Yeah,
free.
appreciate-
It's
free
it's
plug.
free. It's
Yeah,
free plug.
exactly. And it's just that I'm not big on the social media and all that stuff, and I'm busy enough as I am with 2 small kids.
Right.
And, working.
So
with
life
others.
is
Yeah.
busy. So.
Life is good, and I'd like to train more people, but I don't have that much time because
Right.
my 2 girls are 7 and 9 and in sports, and I don't know if anybody
But
out there has
you have
kids.
time to go play tennis with Sugar Ray Leonard.
I'm sure you would too.
Well, I hope I am there pretty soon. But
but yeah, that was a great thing. It's like, he was always my hero, and I got to now.
That's crazy. So he's like a neighbor, or you just?
Yeah, he lives in the neighborhood, but I started training his wife.
Oh, that's how that started, right?
18 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
And I started training him about 16 years ago.
I might be like that little kid. He's one of the guys that would probably get me. I'd probably like slobber all over myself. Like I might. I don't know. I'm pretty controlled. I'm not starstruck, but when you said his name, I went, oh my God, it took me back to my childhood. I'm like,
and that's the thing, is when I first met him, I'm just like, in my head, I'm just like, oh my God, that's Sugar Ray Leonard. And I'm just like, be calm, be professional. He wants you to train him, and you don't want to be the exactly. Be normal, a little bit normal. Just so he doesn't say.
Be excited, but keep it inside. You don't want to like spoil it.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin it and say,
like, hey man, I'm a big fan.
This guy's crazy. Get out of here.
Yeah, he's like, you nut. Yeah, you come at him too like a golden retriever.
Yeah.
No, I would
doesn't come.
I would be
off
cool
well.
around him, but definitely an icon, man. Definitely got me through some tough times in my childhood just watching him. And that's why we have heroes as kids and it's inspirational. So, which I did. I know we got to shut her down, but I wish we had more of that these days. It doesn't seem like I looked at my kids and I'm like, other than me, I'm not that great a hero for them. But
we have the Kardashians.
That's true.
I don't understand how that is so popular. It's just beyond me.
That's still it's
beyond me.
I didn't buy into that one, but I remember that changed Calabasas forever. I was living in Calabasas when that all happened, and I moved.
we need heroes, not.
Let's just put it that way. I moved.
We need real heroes, not.
Not the made up ones that. But hey, whatever. It's like it was good for a lot of people. Yeah. But thank you, my friend. I'll call you my friend.
All right,
even
definitely.
if I'm not your friend.
I got a
mug.
About it. I said
you got the free mug.
I got a mug. I said
you got some water. Thank you so much for coming out.
My pleasure.
It's been fun. I was very excited to see you again, and you're inspiration, man. I really,
Thank you.
I'm
and I just
proud of you and proud of what you've done.
Thank you. I just want to say the only limits you have are the ones you put on yourself. I became a world champion with one hand because I didn't believe I had limits.
That's very good. We'll go out with that. Thank you. I'm Sylvain. We'll see you next week.
You're listening to I'm So Vain with Josh Carmichael, only on LA Talk Radio.